Hey guys, I hope you guys had a great week, the final week of our semester. So let's get right back into it. A couple weeks ago, I asked you guys on our weekly reflection, do your test scores, talking about like your SATs or your ACT scores or your, whatever those standardized test scores, even those STAR test scores, do those test scores reflect how good your teachers are? And so that's what I'm going to be talking about this week, your reflections on that and my thoughts about how you guys can become better learners. But before we get into that, let's see how this week has gone.
Hey, Mom.
You can see them thinking. So focused, so intense. Let us get back into the game. So it's really great to have my mom back in town. It's nice to see her, and if you don't know that game is called Settlers of Catan. It's a great game. If anyone wants to play that with me one day, I'll make sure to bring it in. We could get a few sessions in. But as I said, I wanted to talk about, do your test scores reflect how good your teachers are? And I was thinking about that because I was like, your test scores show how much you know, how creative you are, and then just how good of a critical thinker you are. And is that something that we focus on in class? So I was thinking about that, and at first I was thinking, it's like, do these test scores, do they show like how much you know algebra, or how much you know how to write, or how much you know how to recall history or apply science? And I don't feel like that's exactly what these tests are testing. I'm sure, like in the basic sense of it, yes, that's what they do test. But after some thought about it, I decided that these tests aren't about reflecting on how good you are in those particular subjects, but more how good of a learner you are. That's more what I started to think about, how good of a learner you are. And in the end, I think your teachers are the ones who have the most impact in determining how good of a learner you are. Beyond the amount of teachers having an impact on how good of a learner you are, I think a lot of that's going to come from you guys. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to become better learners and how to find or how to take your passions, the things that you're really interested in, and how to make yourself better learners so that you can apply that in your classes. So the first thing that I want you guys to think about is, what is your passion? What is that one thing that you do outside of school, or when you're in school, what's that one thing you'd rather be doing? So like, if mathematics is your thing, then you're probably thinking about mathematics in your English class, your social studies class, in band, whatever. Now, like if soccer is your thing, or sketching is your thing, or making videos is your thing, then you're probably thinking about doing those things all the time. And when you go home, that's all you'd rather do. You wouldn't want to do anything else. You'd rather just do that one thing. So I think it's really important to, first thing is identify that passion. What is that one thing that you have, that one thing that you do that is your own? So make sure that when you identify this passion, it is something that you do. It is not something that you watch somebody else do. It is not something that you're like, I could do that, but I'm just not going to. It is that thing that you actually do. It is an action. Identify that passion. And right here I'm going to use Mr. De La Garza as an excellent example, because I think he has shown his passion very much to this group of students in this clip that I'm going to show you guys. So much so that these students actually got him a Christmas gift that I want to show you guys, because his passion is so real, it's so evident that everyone just sees it and finds the value in it, and he is excellent at showing his passion for Dungeons and Dragons. So let's see it.
Okay, do you want to start it?
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for being such an amazing DM and for starting this group, and we're all very thankful and like happy that you're here and that you allowed us to play with you. So here's a card.
Oh my god. It's signed from
It's signed from
it's
all of
from
them
the
except
party.
for
I'm
Nero.
about to.
Yeah. 'cause
It's from
he's
the
in
party.
Mexico, but, you know.
I'm about to TBK.
No. That's not the best part. You
I
have to come
failed
around
my
here.
constitution check.
But that's not all.
No,
That's not all.
Come around.
Sir,
Okay,
come
what's
over here.
Investigation check.
So,
No.
we designed it.
Here we
Mr.
go.
Cheryl paid for it. It's gonna be coming Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's like it's coming way too late. We thought it was coming in 3 days, but it was
Give it a
incorrect.
sec. It's you.
And it goes on your board.
Look at his face! That's my face!
It's really weird
But it has
how,
your name on it.
how accurate it
I
got.
designed it. I'm the one that made it in my
That
free
is
time.
brilliant.
And hold on, let me see. I can edit it just a little bit to make it easier to see. So if we go with this page,
Oh my!
it's literally your face. And we put your walkie-talkie and your phone case.
Oh my God!
So, I hope you like it.
I have been miniaturized.
All right, that was Mr. De La Garza getting a gift for Christmas from our D&D club. We have a lot of fun, so if you're interested in that, I think it'd be really cool if some more people got interested in Dungeons and Dragons. It's an excellent game. Let me just fix this real quick. So that's Mr. De La Garza's passion. My passion, you know, I like a lot of things. I like soccer. I like, obviously, to make videos and do photography. You know, I like to play this video game called League of Legends. I like to play all games, really. And unfortunately, I think I'm kind of like on the extreme side, is that I do too much. I have too many hobbies and passions. So I think if you can identify that one thing that you want to pursue, I think that's going to be a little bit better for you. Sorry, we got my neighbor's dog, Gizmo. He's moving around. As long as he's not barking, I think it's okay. But identify that passion that you guys have, because I'm sure there are things that you do. If you think back to my last video about what it means to be a good student, I think there are things that you already do in those passions that you guys have that are very, very relevant to what you need to be doing in your class. You know, like if you like to play soccer, I'm sure you go out there and you play soccer even though it's not practice time. I'm sure you're watching film. I'm sure you're, you know, if your thing is sketching, I'm sure you are drawing all the time. Even in classes where you're not supposed to be drawing, I'm sure you're drawing all the time. You're putting little sketches down onto your tests or whatever. Or if you like to write poetry, you're thinking about that all the time. You always have a little book with you. There are these people who have these passions. Now, if you don't have a passion, I knew this was a bad idea because there are little things that are going around. Anyway, if you guys don't have a passion, take this time to try many different things. Go out for a different sport, or go out and join different clubs. If you're introverted like I am, I would suggest trying photography or trying to make videos. And you know, you don't have to make vlogs of yourself. I know this is something very like out there for me, but you know, just do videos of little things around, just making clips, putting clips together, and making really cinematic films. If you still can't identify what your passion is, I think that's where teachers and education come in. And I think that's our job, is to help you pursue different things and to find relevance in your education in these different passions that you might have. What is the relevance in mathematics to what you like to do in your own passions? Don't look at that.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just talk to me normal.
Okay.
So, what do you like to learn about on your own time?
Can we just talk about school?
Well, is there like anything like that interests you that you don't get at school?
Makeup.
So I was thinking
Skincare.
that.
Yeah. I
So
love
do you
skincare.
like do a lot of research into that, just to
Yeah.
like find like what's the best thing that you want to use, and you
Yeah.
test out other things? Is there a reason why you
Like that?
find that interesting?
No. I don't know. I've always been like into like girly stuff, and so when I was little, I used to play with like my mom's makeup, the whole like cliche thing, and then I was in cheer, so I had to learn about like how to do my makeup, how to do this, how to do that, and then when I was little, I used to break out a lot, so I had to like figure out what worked for my skin, because not everything works for like everyone. So,
Do you feel like anything? If you want to pursue that, is there anything that happens at school that helps you do that?
my business law class, my global business class, yeah.
Okay, so you are getting some stuff at school that you're like you can still apply to like thing that interests you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was it. That was easy, right?
Yeah.
If you like to draw, where does mathematics come into that? What is the history of art? What is the science that you need to be able to get into painting even? You know, those are very different things, and what you do is you try to find the relevance in the classroom to apply in what you already enjoy doing. You don't have to enjoy the mathematics, but you have to enjoy the fact that it makes you a little bit better in the thing that you like to do. And that's what I always think about is, how is this always going to help me improve in these other things that I like to do? Sorry, there are dogs going crazy out here, probably because I'm talking really loud. So I'm going to take it back inside. This is a terrible idea. I'm going to take it back inside and I'll continue this conversation with you guys there. Let's go. All right, here I am back in my very awful and cluttered workspace right now. But I wanted to finish up this conversation that I was having because this is where teachers come in. This is where we get to help you identify, if you don't have a passion, we get to help you identify things you could pursue, like try this, try that. At least, like when I bring in word problems, there are like different things that I try to bring in that are relevant to different aspects of your lives. This is where education really does come in those extracurriculars. So for some people who don't have the opportunity to take extracurricular classes, you really do miss out. You really do miss out on kind of identifying your passion. Now, I think one of the coolest things about having a passion is that you don't have to have a job in your passion to pursue that passion. If you really like to learn about photography, you don't have to be a full-time photography, or you don't have to do photography for your job. If that's something that you like to do, you just need to have a job that gets you through the bills and that gets you fed and lets you pursue this hobby of photography. And maybe eventually you can make some money off of your photography, or you can make some money off of your art or in your sport or something like that. But you just get something that helps you get the money to survive, and then put your full effort into that passion that you have. So I think that's really interesting, is that you don't have to, what I'm not trying to say is that you have to be full-time into this passion to pursue it. You don't have to have a job and make a career out of this passion. Now, if you do, I think that's great. But I believe, like in America, we kind of have this kind of reverse mentality of that you have to live to work. And I don't think that's true. I think you have to work to live. And what I mean is, like, you work to get money to do the things that you like to do. You don't have to live just to work all the time. Now, if that's something that you like to do, then do that. I'm not saying don't do that if that's what you plan on doing and that's what you want to do. So I think one of the biggest benefits that education has and what teachers have in your lives is that we can help you take what you are passionate about and put that into perspective in your mathematics or your social studies or your English class. I think that was something that I kind of learned in college. Is like, I used to really dislike writing, but then I started to write about things that I actually like in college. Yeah, sure, I was still doing analysis and finding the metaphors that the authors use, but I was doing it in a way that I really liked. I started to take it and put it into perspective of sports or of videos and movies that I really enjoyed, and find similar interactions and motifs that connected across these kind of like centuries of writing. And that's kind of what helped me become a better writer, even though that wasn't something I really liked in the sense that I didn't really like academic writing. But it helped me become a better writer because I could now start to think about it in this way that I was able to really enjoy. So I hope everyone has a great break. Thanks for staying with me for another week. I hope this final week was really good for that first semester, and I'm really looking forward to our second semester. And I'm really excited to see you guys after we've had a refreshing 2 weeks and after I come back with another Hernandez in the family. So I'm gonna put out 2 more videos in the coming weeks, and I will be ready to see you guys when we come back from our break. So as always, my name is Mr. Hernandez. Keep working hard, stay safe.